Now
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
It is 6:07 here on O'Connor and Company, Tuesday morning here in the nation's capital. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your morning routine. Nothing routine about this Tuesday, though. At 7:05, Hung Kao is going to join us with an announcement about his political future that I think anyone listening in Virginia will want to tune in for. 7:35, Fairfax County Supervisor Pat Harity, and then at 8:05, Phil Wegman, latest on this White House and the investigations into potential corruption. In fact, we're going to get to that latest story about Hunter Biden in a mere moment here. Julie Gunlock is with us. Julie, good morning to you, young lady.
Good morning.
And I do, at some point this morning, want to discuss the Barbie movie.
Sure.
Because I don't get it.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
It is insane. It hasn't even opened yet, and people are just nuts about it. Personally, I think it looks like a horrible movie. But,
yeah,
but I don't think I'm the target audience. And normally, Margot Robbie flouncing around in skimpy little outfits would be exactly the kind of movie I'd be interested in. But in this case, not so much.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
We'll see. All right, so that's all coming up. Let's get to the Hunter Biden story. Remember him? Remember Hunter?
Barely.
By the way, last night at this fundraiser we did out for the Republican Party in Loudoun County, I had reached out to the White House because, they're very interested in bipartisanship. They want to reach across the aisle. And I said, hey, I'm doing this event out in Loudoun County. Is there any, you guys want to send one of those statements, we applaud our citizens. So the Biden administration, it's an election year. So they're like, oh yeah, we'll do something. So it was really fun. They started a little party favor game where underneath the seat of one of the people in attendance was a little baggie of white powder.
How fun.
Yeah, it was really nice. And you had to hunt
Very
around
in the
fire.
moment.
And if you're the one who found the baggie of powder, you were the hunter, the winning hunter.
Very cute.
Basically.
That's such a nice little party thing.
And again, this is all dreamed up by the White House. Good for them. And they said, if you find the little baggie of white powder, you can keep it. It's yours. Literally no questions asked. There will be absolutely no questions at all. We'll just move on. So that was nice of them.
Very nice. Very nice.
Meanwhile, not so much in James Comer's Oversight Committee. They've got a lot of questions about this. The latest revelation comes way of reporting from Miranda Devine at the New York Post and a statement from the Committee on Oversight. They have informed one of the FBI agents who was investigating the Hunter Biden story. Now, I want to be clear here. This is a full year and a half after they first had the laptop that this latest revelation comes out. This happened in December of 2020, which, may I remind you, was a month after voting ended in the 2020 presidential election. In December of 2020, after we already had presumably a president-elect in Joe Biden, that's when the FBI scheduled an interview with Hunter Biden about the contents of his laptop story. In December of 2020. So right there, that is an abomination of law enforcement and investigation and trying to get to any semblance of justice with regard to the crimes that are contained on that laptop. But wait, there's more. The FBI scheduled the interview with Hunter Biden for December of 2020, but it never happened.
Right.
It never happened at all.
This is pretty remarkable what they lay out here.
The night before, the FBI and the IRS planned to interview Hunter Biden in California. The Biden transition team and the Secret Service were tipped off. And they stepped in front of it and said it ain't going to happen. Secret Service? What does the Secret Service have to do with this?
This is interesting. The Shapley and this new whistleblower were notified they would not be allowed to approach Hunter Biden's house and instead would have to wait near his residence until Hunter Biden contacted them. The former FBI supervisory special agent, who is this new whistleblower, told committee investigators he had never been told He'd never been told that before.
Now, are these the same?
Outside, he'd never been told. This had never happened before. As a result of these actions, Shapley and this new whistleblower never interviewed Hunter.
Are these the same Secret Service agents who participated in the investigation into the baggie of white powder? Are these the same Secret Service agents who were by Hunter Biden during the entire Obama presidency and were sort of, shoulder to shoulder with him as he was going through his his drug-phased, drug-crazed. All of those pictures of women traipsing in and out of Hunter Biden's abode, all those pictures of Hunter Biden with a crack pipe hanging out of his mouth, one presumes that in many of those cases there was Secret Service detail.
You'd think, yeah.
Because he was the son of the vice president.
Yeah, but what they've laid out here is pretty remarkable, just the fact that there were tip-offs and all of that. But go ahead.
Well, I just want real quick, because I'm ignorant about these things. This is in December. This is before the inauguration.
Yeah.
This is the transition. I'm sorry. What constitutional authority does a transition team have?
Right.
What role in our system of government does a transition team for an incoming president have with regard to overseeing an FBI investigation,
That's
even
right.
a belated, half-hearted FBI investigation? But that had to be stopped too.
What they laid out here, basically the tip-off, the fact that they weren't allowed to approach the house, basically the protection of Hunter Biden is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
But I really do want to get back to, why did it take till December 8th, 2020 for this to even occur?
For it to even occur.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
By the way, real fast here, and there's a lot to this, and we're going to unpack it, and there's going to be a very important, I'm told, several important hearings this Wednesday. One in particular, an oversight. There's also, by the way, Jim Jordan's weaponization of the federal government subcommittee is threatening Christopher Wray with once again with contempt of Congress. Stop with the threats. How many threats?
Larry, can I just say, last night Rand Paul, he's talking about more evidence that Fauci lied.
Yes.
So what did he do? He sent a letter. I'm
There's
so
always
tired.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, I mean, I know, but technically that's really all an elected official in Congress can do.
But you said it too. Come on, can we? What is?
Well, stop threatening contempt of Congress. Just begin the hearing now. Begin the hearing and bring it up for a vote. Let's go. So a lot of that is going to occur, and we're going to have these hearings, and we're going to learn more information. And yes, the Congress is limited in what they can do, but they should do everything they can do, even if that means leaning toward impeachment. But let me there's three aspects to this. We've already touched on one of them, which is why did they wait until December of 2020 to even schedule the interview of Hunter Biden? Number two, what power does the transition team in the Secret Service have to obstruct? That is obstruction of justice. It's obstruction of justice from the transition team, and it's obstruction of justice from the Secret Service if this testimony from this FBI agent is correct. But one other thing on this that needs to be discussed. This is December 8th, 2020. December 8th, 2020, the FBI was going to interview Hunter Biden about the criminal contents of his laptop. Can I just tell you something? On December 8th of 2020, if I took to Twitter or Facebook or YouTube and I started talking about the New York Post article about that very same laptop, I would have been canceled. I would have been suspended. I would have been censored. The FBI was interviewing Hunter Biden about the laptop that you and I weren't allowed to talk about. The FBI was going to interview Hunter Biden about the laptop that the Biden campaign and the New York Times and Politico and the Washington Post all guaranteed to the rest of the world based on the advice of 51 former intelligence community officials was really Russian propaganda. Are you telling me that the FBI was going to interview Hunter Biden about Russian disinformation? Are you telling me that the FBI was hoodwinked by Putin's propagandists? Wow, this is more insidious than we ever thought.
Yeah.
Everything about this is an outrage. And for everybody who says, we know all this already, what are they going to do about it? I say to you, you're right. I wish I knew. And every time I ask someone who holds office, whether a congressman or a senator or what have you, or a former FBI person, I say the same thing. What can be done about this? They all say the same thing. Choose the right president next time you have a chance. It's 6:15 WMAL traffic.
Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios.
Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Need a new roof? Honor, respect, and trust your home with Valor. Visit valorhome.com.
On the next Vince Coglianese show, is the Mexican government friend or foe? Join us as we dig in 3 o'clock here on WMAL.
All right, so we were just telling you about a transcribed interview with a former FBI supervisory special agent assigned to the Wilmington office. This further supports, as you were mentioning, Mr. Shapley's testimony. He whistleblower from the IRS. And remember, The FBI agents that were involved in this investigation out of Wilmington, Delaware, along with the IRS special agents, Mr. Shapley and whistleblower number 2, they have all said on the record that the U.S. attorney out of Delaware, who is in charge of this case, said to all of them in a meeting that he did not have the power to bring charges on this. It's out of his hands. Merrick Garland has said the exact opposite under oath. Someone's lying. Someone's lying.
Yep.
Bottom line is somebody is lying and somebody is obstructing justice. And that needs to, last I checked, when you're a Republican and you lie under oath or you lie to the FBI or you lie to a U.S. attorney, you go straight to jail.
Yeah, but again, Congress's role is to have oversight over the executive.
Yeah.
These are executive agencies with incredible power. And the fact that the Democrats in Congress do not see it as their role to figure this out, all they do is cover. And that is just an absolute rejection of their duties.
Right. Well, because they are playing politics with this.
I get it.
They see that the FBI, they don't care that the FBI is being used as a political weapon or the Justice Department is being a political weapon, as long as that weapon is being used against their political enemies.
I get it.
It's despicable and it's disgusting. And
but there used to be in this city, and
Yes,
I'm old
there
enough
was.
to remember times where, for instance, Robert Byrd, from West Virginia, every road named after him, was very concerned about the growing executive branch.
correct. And that's because under J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI was used as a political weapon against both Kennedys and Nixons.
Yes.
Both against Johnsons and Fords. It was against Democrats. See, now the FBI's got wise. It's like, oh, hey, there's nothing wrong with us using our powers
We just
as
need
a
to choose
political
a
weapon.
side.
We just got to pick sides. And they picked sides.
And they picked the side.
They sure has. Well, I keep saying somebody's lying. But see, here's the thing. The IRS whistleblower has now been corroborated by a second IRS whistleblower who will be testifying on Wednesday, and we'll learn his or her identity. Now, the IRS whistleblower, Mr. Shapley, he has been corroborated by this FBI supervisory agent. So, yes, somebody's lying, but the difference here is these 3 people, whistleblowers, 2 from the IRS, 1 from the FBI, they have everything to lose by telling this story.
And let me be
They have
clear,
nothing
these
to gain.
whistleblowers have exemplary records.
That's right.
They are well respected.
That's right. Meanwhile, the 2 people who claim that they're lying, that nothing, it's Merrick Garland and our illustrious U.S. attorney out of Delaware, whose name is escaping me at the moment for some reason. And they have every reason to lie, every single reason to lie. Because it's political for them. This isn't political for these whistleblowers. And by the way, it's been 2 months now since we've learned the identity of the whistleblower. Have you noticed that there's no dirt on this guy? That, trust me, the machine is operating right now. If this guy, missed a 20-cent payment on one of his tax bills, if he missed a parking ticket, it would be all over the place. Nothing. Meanwhile, Donald Trump was on with Maria Bartiromo, asked about the Secret Service investigation about the cocaine.
They come after me on boxes and they can't find drugs. You know how many cameras they have opposite the front door of the Situation Room where these drugs were the cocaine. Now I understand they have many other forms of drugs. They know who this was. They know the person. It's impossible. How can they not know the person?
The Secret Service said that they are ending the investigation of the cocaine found at the White House, and they didn't have any fingerprints, and they said that they cannot identify whose cocaine it was.
I've gotten to know the Secret Service really well, okay? And I can't speak more highly of people. These are incredible people. And I believe that they know everything. They're really smart and really good at what they do. And I don't think it's possible for bags of cocaine to be left in a certain area by the Situation Room. I'm not talking about, 5 blocks away. The Situation Room, where you decide on war, where you decide on nuclear.
There's no way. And again, let's just be clear here. We're conjoining a lot of stories here, but it's important to connect these dots. Secret Service, as Joe DeGenova pointed out yesterday, is compromised in this investigation because they have a conflict of interest. If somebody brought in a foreign substance into the White House, which clearly they did, it means they did it right under the nose of the Secret Service. So the Secret Service is part of the problem here. So for them to investigate their own failure is already a flawed investigation, number 1. Number 2, let me remind you how we began this half hour. The Secret Service, the same entity that conducted this sham of a 2-week investigation into a foreign substance in the White House that could have been anthrax, They also apparently helped block the FBI from investigating and interviewing Hunter Biden in December of 2020. That's not the Secret Service's job. And again, this is not about individual members of the Secret Service who I happen to know and talk to on a semi-regular basis. That's not. It's about the fact that the ongoing understanding that there are certain institutions in this country, in this government, that have become so politicized that it has sadly corrupted even the best of us.
Yeah.
And that's what Congress needs to be looking into at its fundamental core. And it appears that Jim Jordan and James Comer are, in fact, doing just that. And there will be more developments this week.
Yeah, no, you lay it out perfectly. And I do think when you get to the Secret Service potentially getting involved in these kinds of things, that's truly scary.
It is.
And I don't know if we've heard from any Secret Service. Has the Secret Service made a statement on this, Larry? Have you seen anything come from the Secret Service
on this latest revelation about that? No,
Yeah.
They have not responded. They don't need to. Why should they? Why bother?
Well,
all right, coming up, I know a lot of women out there are super excited about this Barbie movie. You need to explain yourself. Seriously, why? I don't get it. I really don't. I understand Barbie the toys, but this movie, why are you so obsessed with it? 888-630-9625, 888-630 WMAL.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9.
News now.
On News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
It is 6:37 here on O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in on this vitally important day. Why is it so important? Well, because we're all awake and we're breathing and we're living life as God intended, and that means every day is vitally important. Make the most of it. It's 7:05. Hung Kao's going to be here. It's important to him today because he wants to tell all the people of Virginia what he plans for his political future, and I want you to hear it as well. 7:35, Fairfax County Supervisor Pat Harity on, this is shocking. Hold on a minute. The Democrats in Fairfax County are raising taxes? Where did that come from? That's not like them. And then at 8:05, Phil Wegman, latest White House news. Julie Gunlock.
good morning.
Good morning. Can you explain something to me?
Probably not.
This whole Barbie phenomenon. And let me be clear, Barbie movie. I am astounded by how many women of a certain age, mostly millennials and Gen Xers, are taking to social media and they have lost their minds with excitement about the Barbie movie. And I get the whole thing with the Barbie toy. I understand it's a phenomenon. I understand it was a part of your childhood. I understand it was part of your life. I get that. And I think Barbie is great. I love the Barbie toys. Trust me, I spent a very late Christmas Eve night into Christmas morning putting together a Barbie shopping mall with a working elevator for two little girls who now could not possibly care less. But at the time, it was the be all and end all. It's like,
Well,
if
have they thought about putting that thing online because they could probably get some money?
I wonder if we still have it. If the Barbie shopping mall was not there with the elevator functioning Christmas morning, it was as if Jesus was never born. That's how critically important this was.
Yeah, so the movie. So now maybe you understand why people are
But
interested
I
in the movie.
don't, because here's the thing. A movie is a movie. A movie has characters and a plot and a storyline and has to mean something. And I've watched this trailer multiple times. This looks like the worst pile of heaping. I don't get it. But because it's Barbie and because everything's pink, women are losing their mind over it. And I need you to explain it to me at 888-630-9625, 888-630-WML. What is it about this movie do you think is so important? I have a couple of opinions. I think Julie does too. But we also want to hear from you. 888-630-WMAL. Here's a little bit of the trailer.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever. It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever. Do you guys ever think about dying?
When my heart breaks.
Some things have been happening that might be related.
When my world shakes.
Cold shower. Falling off my roof.
Yeah, the trailer goes on to show that suddenly her heels are touching the ground, instead of walking around on the little Barbie tippy toes. And something's happening to Barbie's world, and she has to go into the real world to figure it out. And I get the visual impact of the recreation of the Barbie world is funny, but it seems like a one-joke movie after that. And again, I haven't seen it yet.
Larry, you're
but neither have you people who are so excited about it. You haven't seen it either, and you love it.
I think the key to enjoying the Barbie movie is to not do Larry O'Connor overanalysis before going to the Barbie movie.
Check your brain at the door.
Let me tell you, Larry, I am just thrilled in our day and age that they did not cast Lizzo as Barbie. Okay, I mean it's pretty provocative that they actually cast a white, slender,
good-looking blonde girl
in in the role of Barbie. I mean, that's almost racist in nowadays. So it's very much a sign of white supremacy here. So pretty provocative from the makers of Barbie. I think you go and you have fun and you look. The world is so serious. Maybe this is just a fun movie. Right? Yeah. Maybe it's just. I mean, are they going to get to the bottom of what happened to Ken? Speaking of bottoms, I mean, are they gonna address that? Is he post transition?
There's got to be a joke in there
That's
about
very
the
current.
lack of bottom equipment.
Well, we know there will not be any scenes where you got to cover your kids.
No, and that may be part of it too. There's obviously an innocent joy to this movie that at least at the first part of it. Then Barbie goes into the real world, according to the trailer, and it looks like it gets a little bit more
a little dicey. Yeah.
I get that, and I think that also there is something about this movie that so fully embraces just the epitome of femininity. And women of this generation that I'm talking about.
Unapologetic womanhood.
That's right.
Pink and fun and smiling and enjoying your life and being healthy and what's wrong with
that?
that?
No, and I think that's so counterculture, frankly, and you were only allowed to enjoy that, you millennial women and you Gen X women, you were only allowed to in this little fantasy world of Barbie, and now you get to see it in real life and you get to go into, because I'm seeing all of these friends of mine who are picking out the right pink outfit to go on opening day and all of this. I mean, they're really
well, I'm
into
not there. I'm not there.
And
I'm not even sure I'm going to go. But.
Well, if you are one of those women, I would love to hear from you because I have some more opinions about why this is sort of, especially amongst conservative women, they're really, really super excited about this. I asked Meredith about this, by the way, and she had an interesting opinion too, and it had to do with Ken. And I'll share that with you in a moment, too. But I do want to hear from you at 888-630-9625. If you're a woman who is so hyped about Barbie, can you help explain it to me? Explain it to all of us. 888, because me, personally, I'm in line for Oppenheimer. I want to learn about how we got the nuke bomb. 888-630-WMAL. I want to tell you about... Yeah, so I said to Meredith is very much the target audience for this. My wife, she's a millennial. She loves Barbie, grew up with Barbie with her sister and everything. And I said, what is this all about? I don't get the phenomenon about this movie. It isn't out yet, and so many people want to see it. She thinks a lot of it has to do with Ryan Gosling as Ken. She's like, she thinks that's
the theory.
Because of, The Notebook, and he is the perfect actor for that generation as the love interest for,
Yeah, I mean, he's a meme. He's like his hey girl. It's I love Ryan Gosling. And that's my new working theory.
And the fact that Ryan Gosling doesn't take himself so seriously that he's like, oh, are you kidding? I'd love to, because Ken, he just looks like a freaking moron in this movie, the way he's dressed and the way he behaves. Yeah. So that may be part of it too. But I really do think
Ryan Gosling also strikes me as a very confident man who has no problem playing a character with no private parts. So that took a while. I imagine
really
it took a while.
With that part of it, yeah.
I want answers.
It's a smooth situation, man. I really do think ultimately, I think this has to do with the attempt to redefine what women are and what femininity is, and I know everybody says, oh, it's a social construct. It's a social construct. I had 2 boys and 2 girls, and I assure you that everything about Barbies is designed to appeal to little girls. Are there a small percentage of boys who, would rather play with Barbies than play with trucks? Absolutely. A very small percentage. That doesn't mean that that the reality of sex and biology and science doesn't exist and is a construct. No. Girls don't play with Barbies because their parents forced Barbie on them. Girls play with Barbies because they want to play with Barbies. And we're going to see that play out in the movie theaters, unless the movie is as awful as I think, and then it'll be a huge flop. It's either way, fun conversation.